Welcome everyone. This is Evelyn and I have 4 of my channeled messages of the day for you guys. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending so much love and blessings out to you all. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's nice and cool and a little rainy here today. And thanks for being here. Let's pull these bowls out of the way. So the cards on the table are the last read I'll present today, and that was from this morning. But I did want to point out the cards here. We have the angel in the middle here, and you see the arms up like the wings, and the wings are each pointing towards the 36, which for me is Atlas, and over there is the 44, which for me is Hercules. So literally pointing to the 2 pillars, the mountains. That could represent the Rock of Gibraltar as well, but also the angels above the 2 altars, or the 2 pillars, and then the Fool on the ground running with an open heart and that leap of faith. And there's the Chariot and the underlying energies, indicating that, you know, hitting the ground running. So really beautiful energies, and again, tying in some of the other energies that have been coming in my reads this week. And let's roll the die, and then we'll get right into the first read. All right, for the Twin Flames today, this April 28th, 2023. Okay, we have Gemini, which also can represent the Roman numeral 2. We have Leo here as well, and the Sun, also the 0 point energy. And we have the number 5, which is all about change, and the Hierophant, change, expansion, and freedom. And the Hierophant is very much about commitments, and it can represent God at times, but it's more of a 3D representation of God. And also guidance, commitments, societal norms, things like that, right? Also can represent the man, right? Society, and what's expected of us from those in power. So we have Gemini, Leo, and then Taurus would be the Hierophant and change. And Leo and Taurus are both fixed energies. And then Gemini, Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. And then we have, this also reminds me of the library. There's a beer and wine bar called the Library 2. There's a couple different locations that I'm aware of, but that's coming up for some reason. I have no association with it at the moment, so I'm not sure why it's coming up. But again, the Gemini twins is mutable, and then the 2 fixed energies over here. And of course, Taurus is still in the North Node. The 2 of the Sun. I'm getting the 2 and the 5 too, because 2 and 5, when written block style, literally reflect each other. And then the Sun or Leo in the middle, Leo also represents the child. So those energies are coming up. So it could be a child who's getting in between somebody as well. Or again, the pillaring or the safety, the protection of the child. All right, so this is the first read. This is Nature's Whispers at the top. And then my tea leaves, my past life deck, that's Brian Weiss. And then we have my combined decks of LENORMAND, REVERIE, and the KIPPER deck all in as one deck. And then the bottom is the Rider-Waite mini deck. Okay, so this first read was done on the 26th. Today's the 28th. And I had done some scribbling right before this read, and I was getting the energy of of AE and IS, which is, and AE is ash or bright light. But also Eris was coming up, and Aries, as we've left Aries recently. But again, this was the 26th. And also, oh, two things. I think it was on my last read. Switches came up, and I was getting, at that time, you know, S words, my Sophia words, which is Sophia's witches, but also was coming up the Salem witch trials because they came up again. And the other thing that came up was I'd gotten double indemnity, and I was confusing it with double jeopardy, which is when, you know, you get tried for a murder that you didn't do, and then you get to kill somebody without getting tried because you already got tried for that. But the double indemnity has to do with dying accidentally and then having your insurance doubled. So, you know, the energy of people doing that on purpose to make more money was coming up. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. What else came up here? Fleur-de-lis came up, and Latvian, that was interesting. Latka was coming up, and then Latvian on top of that, which is really interesting. And again, Saturday Night Live and Andy Kaufman, that'll come up in this read, I think. And again, the source language of Latka, right? He spoke another language, but source language, they were being really funny about it, was coming up in reference to that, as well as Eve. And again, the ash, the U and the W, with the two U's and the U of the Holy Grail. And this versus that. And what else came up right there? Being clever, right? The clever fox, right? Who's able to manipulate things in their favor. They're very cunning. Belonging to L, and the energy of LISU, which is smooth, or a plan for solving a problem. And again, the energy of the cunning fox, and that could be representing or referencing someone that the Divine Feminine is dealing with, since Eve also came up. So this first read was started at 9/11, and that's interesting. I wasn't thinking of that. I think it was yesterday my son called at 9/11. So that energy of urgency coming up with nature. So 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 18 were all coming up for these decks that I pulled. 11 is Justice, 12 is the Hanging Man, and then the Death card, the Temperance card are the Angels, and then the 18 and 9/18 is my birthday. So that energy of 9/11, and also the Divine Feminine's birth and sudden urgency here. The cards at the ends, the way, for those of you not familiar with my reads, the underlying energies are usually on the left, and I usually pull 3 cards, and then any other cards that want to come up, I count as a number, but also incorporate those energies into the read as well. So the cards at the end of each deck came up as 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, and perhaps another 2, and then 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 8. The energies of the World and the Hanging Man, and the Fool or Monkey in the middle, the World, the Moon, and the King of Wands in the middle. And again, we talked about the kid in the middle here, the Leo energy in the middle, and here's the King of Wands, which could be a Leo energy. And then the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, and the Man and the Moon. And the Fool, King of Wands in the middle, or a Fool for love. And then I was getting after 1221, 21-12. And that the 21 is the World card, and 12 is the Hanging Man. And also Pisces energies, very much Pisces energies there, which is also 1 foot in this world and 1 in the next. So again, expanding out to other worlds. The Wise World, 2-1, 2-1-2. So going from 1 to 1-2. So the kind of do-si-do between the worldly connection of the twins and then your divine connection with Source as one. To 1221, to 2 people in that 1, 2, 3 jump or leap to dance. 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3, the Divine Mass and Divine Feminine in the purple moon. And the dates were coming up there as well, because it was on the 26th. We just passed the 21, 22, 23, or the spring equinox. divine feminine, masculine, the purple moon, which references the 0 point field. 2 hanging out on Terra, and I always spell Terra T-E-H-R-A, which are the same letters of Earth, just rearranged, and also is coming up as Terra, or the ray. 2 jump or leap to the moon. So again, Andy Kaufman coming up as the man in the moon. The world with the divine masculine and feminine, fools in love, romancing the stone, which is also coming up as the moon. The man in the moon, and Latka Gravis, who's not from this world. And he's also a general from 11/27/79, as a civil war broke out at his home and he had to go. So his name was Andy Jeffrey Kaufman, January 1749, so he was a Capricorn. He was born in Queens, and he passed away 5/16/84 of lung cancer. Jim Carrey, when he was playing him, contacted him telepathically and saw a school of dolphins surface in the distance. And he said that Andy Kaufman told him to sit down, that I'll be doing my movie. And you know how much Jim Carrey very much channels his characters when he gets into them. So playing Tony Clifton got him into real-life bad boy trouble, Jim Carrey. As the director said, I've never been intimidated by another man, and I am intimidated by Tony Clifton, because Jim Carrey was literally channeling the role. So again, the energy of Terra and T-E-H and then R-A, and then Iran and Iraq were coming up because, of course, Tehran is Iran. So besides running, Ran also has many other meanings, as in a fishing rod, a wand, row, line, position or rank, yarns coiled up, slender, lanky, water, daylight, open, theft, robbery, and early, and there's that energy of the cunning fox as well right there. It also means premature and to resound, and that was coming up in Vietnamese, and I brought up Vietnamese a couple readings back, that a lot of Vietnamese definitions were coming up, and also to spread widely. And again, the resound or the resonance, and I just talked about the vertical pillar, right? When the star hits, you get that vertical projection, and then afterwards is the resound of the horizontal projection across the horizon line. So Rak also came up with Iraq, and it comes up as plague and pestilence and community disease, of violence, dangerous, group of, flock of, season, time, little and while, and basically the moment, a second, but also the epidemic. So again, two polarities in this definition of RAQ. So Terra comes up as earth, water, which is mud, thou, which is you, the humans, and tea. And it's spelled as tea, the drink tea, T-E-A. Tehran coming up as robbed in broad daylight from the city of Ray. And so I was looking at the ley lines, because Tehran is on the 35th line. It's 35 degrees 41 and then 51:23 east. And it syncs up mostly in the United States with Asheboro, North Carolina, and Asheville. They're both very close. One's 35 degrees 42, the other one's 35:35. And DC is the 38th degree. But the DC is 38 and then 77 longitude, which are very significant numbers you see, and that's no accident. 38 is the Queen of Cups, and again the 3 and the 8. And remember, 3/8 is the twin flames coming into union, so it's a very significant number. Not only the Queen of Cups as the Mary Magdalene energy, but the 3/8, right? You have the 2 8s dancing side by side until the third 8 comes in and knocks you down into that permanent connection of infinity. So this read, let's see here, the earth to resound. So remember, Terra is in the mud, and you with T, the ray, the earth ray of Terra. Earth to resound and spread widely, as in the horizon, the horizontal pillar. And the rod, the day, the wool, which is the lamb or the sheep, are all wrapped up. They cheated because they weren't mature yet, a stick in the mud, or all aflame. So at 1047, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 47 of the Seven of Cups, which for me is synchronicities, but also choices and confusion sometimes, and heaven in your eyes. The 47 is also a reference to the heart, to the crown, the 4th to the 7th chakra, before you get into the 8 and 9, which is the high heart, and then the 4th eye, so to speak, that come in together. The underlying energy, and a plane was in the distance as I started right here, the underlying energy of the 13, and that's, I'm just getting the dolphins in the distance and the plane in the distance with Jim Carrey's reference. The underlying energy of the 13 and the renewal of peace, the mule and the shield, and the need to defend oneself. With the Greco-Roman cards coming up with the past life energies, which may bring up some wounds that still need to be cleared. The false person, number 8, with the dance, and the Empress reverse in a fall from abundance. The transition to peace, or return as new life, a baby, the stubborn mule, unwilling to change, must shield and defend, or be shielded against. With the Pantheon was coming up, and the Black Panther came up in my animal cards in a read that I did as well. So it really stood out to me when I wrote the Pantheon. The Pantheon of Rome, and the Pantheon Mausoleum in Paris, the temple to all the gods, and the Parthenon in Athens, for Athena in the Greco-Roman connection, which is all Greek to me, those roaming gods, as GRE equals a step or rung, the part of the stair or ladder, the level or degrees, the generation or 1 degree of the 360, of success, a good attitude, of green and gray and stud and flock, the herd and horses, and agreeable, satisfaction, pleasure, and liking. So agree is a step to row, and gree is coming from Greek, G-R-E, and then E-K, which can reference as I, and then the Roman of the row and the man. So agree to row, and ik-man, and again, Elena Denon talking about, she had the Altians come in and channel a message to us that we are originally Altians, from Man, who became Hugh, or you Man, you from Man, on Terra. So, agree to row, ik man, or I man, I one man to come out, a fish out of water. And remember, the gree is also the flock, not only the step, but also the flock. I, one man, to come out, a fish out of water, which is a reference to Jesus as well, and with besides oak, I, annex, which is also someone Elena Denon is connected with, someone, anyone, and yoke, to join or tie together, a pair linked or chained or collared, and that I wasn't even picking that up before, as in the priest collar, one to stabilize, to see and watch and be an extension of oneself. The God R-E regarding ik, I, one, the roaming man, in search of the energetic exchange, the arrows of love, and that's the EE for me, and the Om, O-M, and lots of pillars stranding in their honor, as in the Parthenon, or the Pantheon. It's like a jail cell, but with beautiful columns, right? In a ruse, a joke, a cunning fox, who cut off their nose to spite their face, leaving lily lady to take their place. The mask behind the mask, or double agent. I spy annex from the tree of life. Oh, that's so weird too, because a couple years ago, I was getting pictures in the woods across the street from me, and I actually outlined a beautiful picture of what was coming in as energy from annex. But that's coming up again. I spy annex from the tree of life after surrendering 2020 vision to a virus or to any truth. You can't argue its point as it hits home. The world and its poor inhabitants left out in the cold, with the Queen of Wands, or 24, which is a Pleiadian reference, and Omega, or enlightenment, The human weakened by their ego and illness, with heaven in their eyes, synchronicities or delusions of grandeur, and the ultimate happy family of heaven on earth, or the Queen of Wands with Leo in their chart with great happiness and loves or things she loves to do. But there may be issues at work with the Knight of Wands upright and the Empress reversed, which could be a differing of opinions or the energy of physically and passionately things going well, but with a lack of abundance with the Empress reversed at 1128 of alignment and justice and the twin flames or choice of path. And then a site came up too, the Pillar of Enoch ministry blog. So I was looking at the relationship between Pegasus and the Pleiades, because the Altians are from Pegasus. That's where Mon is from Pegasus, and then the Pleiades, of course, is the Pleiadians, and the 7 daughters of Titan Atlas and the Oceanid Pleione. And on that website, Pillar of Enoch, they talk about Alcyone and the binary energy of Christ and the Bride of Alcyone and the Church of Philadelphia, or New Jerusalem. So that was coming. I just was guided to that website for whatever reason, and they'll come up in the message as I go. At 1129, Justice in the 29, which is the 3 of Wands of being present in the moment, after we leave on the Empress reversed, or the mother always running in to rescue them in a practical way, right, which is not for their highest good. And again, there's that dark mother energy of codependence between a mother and child. Or sick or weak mother expecting the Knight of Wands to go to work or fix things or take call, or ill, weak, injured, or power hungry Empress reverse, which also can be someone who's power hungry or who uses their inability to do things or their weakness to manipulate people to do things for them, always putting out fires at the last minute. She either is the problem at work, lacking mentality, or after they delivered, had to go right back to work. So that could be, the Empress reverse could have been someone just had a child. Or going right back to work with the same old issues at 1133 of justice and alignment and truth and balance, and the 33 of the Christ vibration, which can be martyrdom, or it can be, and I was just talking about this in a comment that I made to a commenter about that Christ energy, because initially it's considered as martyrdom, which is a negative. However, it's also sacrifice, but when we speak of sacrifice, it's often considered a negative term. I agree with that. But the sacrifice is meant as a loving sacrifice. You don't feel badly when you sacrifice something for your child because it makes you feel good to do that for your child. You're not doing it, you don't really feel like you're giving up something, but you are like kind of putting yourself in the back seat to allow that child to have something, whether it's your time, money, or effort, because of love, not because they are trying to manipulate you, because obviously a child can't, they don't have the ability to do that when they're a newborn baby. So the Pisces upright energy and Leo reversed, or Queen of Wands with Pet perhaps, with a great vision and support, as the Knight of Wands leaves work, or perhaps leaving work behind, or a dependent behind, or the Empress, who could be a dependent if she's reversed, and they may be leaving them behind to come visit. After the Emperor upright fell on their face or fell from grace at 1137, which is the King of Cups and unconditional love, maybe he did something foolish or took a leap and got their heart broken, or pushed to the emotional limit, dumped or dumped on, overwhelmed, purging, or sweating it out, coming out arrogantly and pleased with themselves, perhaps about an inequity or a scam, or just not sharing and stopped being charitable, or giving too much and gave up or surrendered with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but, to the world. The divine feminine, a neighbor, Pisces, are coming full circle and sending them away, the Queen of Wands needing courage to see synchronicities and choices, and to be in gratitude of the Rainbow Bridge, as my voice was going a little bit during that sentence, gratitude of the Rainbow Bridge before them in an moment as the skies open, fulfillment with family and no work, except when the Knight of Wands comes in missing their mother at 1144 to 45, which again is the reference of my time of birth. So it has to do with the divine feminines and their birth. The Empress fell and the Empress reversed rose. The Emperor fell and the Empress reversed rose. With Aries upright and reversed, Pisces upright, and then we're talking about the eclipse energies too. Pisces upright, Leo reversed, Saggy upright, and Taurus reversed. After death or dark night, or a fight for justice, a judge or Libra forcing the Emperor to pay every last dime of what's owed, or is that what was owed by Libra to the Emperor, who then fell? As the dark night Scorpio leads Taurus reversed off of their North Node position or their high horse, escorting her to step down from power before Aries takes over in July, leaving Libra to dive deep or off the hook, an announcement, decision, or wake-up call to the Page of Pentacles reversed to dance, the schooling of the golden goose destined to happen, or the Page of Pentacles reversed not doing well in school, or unable to get something started, or just feeling uninvited, or Aquarius with Leo reversed and Taurus reversed, calling to disinvite Libra or to give them a piece of their mind. At 11:55, which is justice and the truth, the underlying energy here of the 8 of the breakthrough, a leap into the ocean, the wild child with crazy hair to ride with Pegasus, number 24, seahorse in the coral reef, or to corral them up from the deep blue sea and cutting edges with the 21 of the world, and Leo and Pisces in a fresh approach from Andromeda and Pegasus perspective of the earth. And again the Altians, the 24th pair, and an old 45. Where are you going, Billy? An empowering purging to be inspired, to maintain their childlike spirit. With the Queen of Wands, the Pleiades, in illumination and enlightenment, through transmutation with flame, and destined to open your heart to Swan Lake, Swan Love, of 2 little angels who've been up to something. At 12:08, the Hanging Man and the dance, and Lucy, you have some explaining to do. With 15 after the shadow, to hug a tree and catch your breath, which, remember, your breath is your inspire or inspiration before transition to renewal of peace in the nook of the tree. With Libra, Capricorn, Scorpio, or children come home to roost, nest, or visit, or perhaps new ones arrive. At 12:12, of 2 Hanging Man, or hanging out with another, and the 47 of laughter, of the heart to the crown, with the little ones racing around on their avatars, and Pegasus, and grandmother's throne. With Pegasus is P and gaseous, laughing all the way, stomping on the clouds in thunder rolls. What the heck is going on upstairs? As baby's asleep down here. At 12:15, the Hanging Man and the Devil, with 43, 44, and 40, the 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, and Page of Cups, socializing, stabilizing in her harvest, with the Page of Cups, an innocent one perhaps, as love matters and ships come and go, as the bird flies in to land and open up about other planes within. The Pleiadians say hello, or greetings, to Earth Mother seeking beauty in her candles, and dear ones seeking her beauty and attention, seeing her hair as a million wishes, and capped for synchronized swimming. And what a tail at that! Her face glowing, and Greco-Roman goddessy, Odyssey, perhaps no longer finding joy in small talk, or coming together with friends who talk about things you no longer resonate with, perhaps happy to be alone, or with 1 or 2, and pets, and the Page of Cups showing support to birds and flowers and fairies, and the man in the canoe keeping their distance, but watching just the same. Never bored with their nature friends and innocent ones. At 12:24, the Hanging Man and the Pleiadians. With 2 cards here, the 23 and the 7, the King of Wands and the Shear and the Chariot, and the key of the boomerang. You are worth it, King of Wands, to amplify your positive emotions, with little ones creating ripples amongst the ancient ones, or Cancer, child or pup, pet or fairy, and do you know how much this King of Wands adores you? You are the heaven in their eyes, or the King of Wands who sees the little fairy child in you, seeing you as oblivious to all the positive ripples that you have sent out, but they have noticed. At 12:29, the Hanging Man and the Three of Wands and the underlying energy, as the lion in the financial pinch reaches out with claw to the carrot dangling on a stick, listening for good news as the fox is screwed or shrewd, maybe he is screwed, as the fox is shrewd and screwed or resourceful, and whispering in the mule's ear so that they'll think it was their idea. At 12:32, which is the Hanging Man and the Journey, the underlying energy of the pineapple and 51st dates, and a harp for great happiness, and pin presented. And I have a technical pin that I always tell you about. Or perhaps pinned, or new job or career, or a serenade, a success, with Lucy in the sky with diamonds, and shield to defend yourself, as the knight that you are, just in case. With the lyre and the two-eyed needle, or needle and musical thread, to play that old 45, Where Are You Going, Billy? And Billy is short for William, which references the will, I am, with fireworks and protection. After the dog who's far away and taken care of with jug and cheese, perhaps so the dog won't come between you during reconciliation. And again, I'm getting someone bringing something like, dog food in their pocket so that they'll stay eating their food and won't bother them while they're talking. So at 12:37, the Hanging Man and the King of Cups is the desk and the four-leaf clover to attend your work or tend to your work that is great with good fortune. The Rose Mountain Road and Eagle, as romance is in the air on the road to success and triumphing over any obstacles as the eagle rises to perch on the mountain with crimson clover over and over, and roses and more roses over and over. With one card here, which was wealth, period. A wealthy man at his mountain perch, and eagle's eye view of roses from his desk. Sam, I am a wealthy man, emotionally fulfilled by the story of July and 4. ... And that's all I need. And this lamp. So again, Forrest Gump was coming up there, which not Forrest Gump, but oh crap, what is it? With Steve Martin, The Jerk. And now I'm getting this song, The Jerk. The knee jerk, dun, 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 cool jerk. That's coming up. I just write down The Jerk because I forgot that. So there's this energy of the wealthy man, right? He doesn't need much. He's got his mountain perch and eagle's eye view of the roses from his desk. Sam, I am a free man, right? Sam. A wealthy man, emotionally fulfilled by the glory of July and the number 4. And that's all I need. And this lamp, or whatever he collects on the way out. After the man went to war and she left to her own spiritual devices, a love life of trust and faith, and sun at their back with no flame in hand. And there's that energy of Lady Liberty with no flame in her hand. At 1:18, the magician and the 18 of the moon, and the underlying energy of imprisonment and slavery, of the high priest or priestess, and the Salem witch trials, the knighthood with the sword of truth and shield couldn't protect them from spell work. The monk and nun would pray for them for 30 pieces of silver to betray your loved one. The high priestess, knights and monks and nuns, not paid very well, but they got to live on or in the Pantheon or one that was built in their honor, a place where the sky would open and the light would pour in, filling it up like the Holy Grail in Greco-Roman times, a prison of marble and stone as opposed to metal pillars, of Judas and Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the Holy Roman Empire, the Catholic Church foundation built on a wish, with shielding and a prayer, and a bribe for the widowed bride, turning to the arts, piano and guitar, keys and pulling strings, as the unicorn says these, a few of my favorite things, at 128. The divine masculine and the twin flames are choice of path. The wisdom of the world, of the word and tone, of contrast and octaves, of strokes and colors. The wisdom of Sophia, which means wisdom, so reflective in her own right, the mighty sentinel at 1:30. the masculine, or the leap to the 30 of union, where sentinel is sent in all, AWL, which is the whole, ALL, which is the whole with a W, and then the owl, AWL, OWL, which is the hoot. That I am two twins, as July and August came up. And twins is TW, which is two U's, INS. I am two, or twins, as creator, blows out of both nostrils. The two-eyed needle, or the didgeridoo, or the didgeridoo. Didgeridoo. So July and August, I'm going to bring those up first. We're coming up as July is the Jew's lie, and then the 4, July 4th, is lambda, leap. In Judaism, you are the mother's religion, so Jesus was always a Jew. As a Jew, she received this gift from God as Jesus' mother, and a leap of faith. So, there's that conundrum. July in U.S., as Julius, leading to Augustus, Caesar, of course, which Caesar is pronounced Cesare, which is Shea, a ray, home of the ray. Julius leading to Augustus, and the July being the Jew and the LY, which is the right angle in the 0 point field, and the gold of OU, or AU rather, in August, and the JE of I of two U's, and the ancient one blowing in. So Augustus is the gold gust, and then the Jew, JEW, which is the Je and two U's of the ancient one blowing in. So the Greek, so with the didgeridoo came up, the two-eyed needle, and the Greek philosopher and theologian, expression of self as their creator, of Mount Olympus and Zeus and the gods waiting to be entertained by the masses. Jesus, remember, is JE, which is I in French, and SUS, Zeus, I Zeus. And also JES, which is G's, us too. Willing to take in the masses, to entertain and be entertained. The Celtic cross with Neanderthal man as a totem of openness to the 360 degrees of separation from source, where all roads leads home on a longitudinal range of phased arrays. When sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy, take me home mountain road to the place I belong. And West Virginia is WV, which is two U's and creation. How much, how often, and how many it also means, as WV equals the number for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the path of wine and scent, and step, flock, horse, and pleasure. And after death, INES, which is inside, I belong to, where I belong inside, one with one belonging to, after the wine and women, retiring and retreating home. Also the vehicle identification number, the penny, and the 100. Creation in the scent coming up as well, the scent as in the smell. And also the energy of hitting the ground running of 1 to 100, like a car from 1 to 60. All those energies coming up. So 205, and again there's that reference of the 2 and 5 I told you with the dice, the 2 and the 5. 205 was space between the 0 point, the step, the flock, the horses, the pleasure, and the nadis, which are energy lines, like the squiggles you would see as representing Reiki. And any will do, and I was just getting Waldo right there. With synapses coming up here, which are conjunctions between two terminals, or to clasp. The sin and the arch, the vault, I bind and join, the altar, the bishop's seat or throne, the aspen tree. And then the song was coming from my daughter's room, I need you, I need you, I need you. And she said that was ICU. I think she said that was Coco Jones. But the sin of SYN means together, the torsion angle of 0 to 90 degrees. His sun, vision, and sight, and the 90 degrees is the L, the right angle. His sun, vision, and we were getting confirmation there. Sun, vision, sight, and premonition, the hallucination, the view, the appearance, and revelation. The synapse, therefore, is together to clasp. And it's like, the two lobster claw clasps coming together, or the two hands clasping together. 1 second, I just have to check. Someone just... Okay. IR, vault, bind, right? The IR is referencing I'm not just I, we are. IR, the vault, bind, join. The throne of the right angle, which is the lambda leap energy. His vision, sight, revelation, and premonition, articulating the lambda leap, the lamb to father, the binding of the lamb in the father's pages, on call to each other, magnetized in a holding pattern, the Celtic or Celtic seal of light of the inner child, the Neanderthal before the Anu got their hands on thee, but now that you're back in the atmosphere, I'm afraid you'll think of me as plain old Jane, plain Jane, just Jane, the closer, in closer, and I'm getting big connection on that. And watch closer if you haven't watched that. 2 cards of wars and battles, of reservation and inquisition, or persecution and inquisition, of wars over whose gun it is and whose flag, and how the heck do you put this thing together? That it's your fault. I'm frustrated, so you must be doing this to me. I always get the job done. It must be that witch who lives down the street. It's her fault. Let's string her up and interrogate her, where no matter what she says, she'll be wrong. We'll gaslight her. Gaslighting or burning at the stake, and stake our claim on her stuff afterwards. And I just saw a movie too all about that stuff. It was the weirdest movie. But it was about this man who ended up killing someone by accident. And then this chain of events which makes him a killer, and how now he can't live with himself. And the whole town comes against him because he had done a scam prior to that, a money scam where they all lost their money. But then he left them the pile of money, and then all of a sudden he was their best friend because now they had the stuff that was left behind of all the other people who had been killed. It was just the weirdest energy. But that's what's coming up here. Not only did we kill them, but then if we kill them, we get to take their stuff. At 225, while we're at it. If we don't understand her, she must be wrong. I'll back you up if you have mine. No one ever needs to know we lied. The only reason they burned her is because they couldn't figure out how to get the gun to work after she messed with them. So at 228, the High Priestess and the 28 of the Choice of Path and the Twin Flames, and the underlying energy after a death, an Isis or Anubis, in Hydra and Seek, in shedding of skins, in the dance of sovereignty, yo, and the 21 of the whole mountain complete, with she'll be coming round, following the arrows of love, in energetic exchange as the paths go back and forth. The 14 as the foxy patient angel, or fallen one, the wounded warrior, leaves the hen house, fearing the buck, to the 24 thief in the city, which could be the Queen of Wands, and Sex in the City comes up there, or sweet child in the city, or sweet child, oh mine, or toxic Queen of Wands, perhaps Saggy shedding her stuff all over the place, as the King of Wands stands up to their messes and rotten apples, and the 35 wounded warrior is unanchored or caught in a storm, but the Page of Wands with great fortune, or the Lion's Heart who's ready to take on the one who stole their heart in the masked tango. At 236 is the Divine Feminine, and 36 of Atlas, the 10 of Wands, and the Weight of the World, or all 4 flames on, but no night. I was getting but no light on, referencing someone, referring to someone who's got no light on in their head. Or all 4 flames on, but no night, as in the knight in shining armor. The Blower's Daughter, again referencing closer again, and breaking some hearts tonight. With Aquarius and Libra calling it quits, with the Page of Pentacles reversed or unable to manifest at 238 to 39, the Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups connect. Uninvited, as in City of Angels, and after the 7th horn comes the 8 dance. The mother or empress reversed with the Page of Pentacles reversed, or perhaps a grandmother disowning their son, or not getting along, or missing each other and destined to call. Or mother lost her child, that God ripped them from their clutches. In the sin of the apse, the conjunction revelation. Two ships passing in the night or day, in a do-si-do of the crazy eights, always coming back around again. At 2:44 to 5, where Country Road then was playing in my daughter's room, so bringing West Virginia up again, and John Denver, two U's create, or co-creating one big creation. The mountain home, take me home to the place I belong. And then Ricochet came up, which is rebound, and titanium, and bulletproof. Titan, I-U-M, titanium. The Titan, which came up as Atlas earlier, and I, the U of the Holy Grail, and the M of co-creation, I am. Atlas Hercules, co-create. His intent, her harvest. His story, her stellar. Her stel, which is recovery or restoration and repair. Hearse, which is her sea, her sudden events. And her sir, herself. Her stellar, his story. Her horse, her sir, her stellar recovery of herself. Sophia's or wise elf, who just happened to be bigger than all the others. And Snow White, or pure of heart, at 2:56, the divine feminine and the Two of Swords, of keeping to herself for peace of mind, because she knows without knowing. At 2:58, 58 being the Four of Swords in that 5D connection, with the 7 and the 43 of our house is a very, very, very fine house, with two cats or lions in the yard, a message, a broken seal, a gamma ray or boomerang, Cinderella's chariot of 7 sisters all grown up and very tall to balance the smalls, and 43 of the 3 of Cups in the labyrinth of joyful walk. The labyrinth wasn't meant as a puzzle to confuse, it was meant as a puzzle within oneself to have a nice calm walk in one direction. With self to the center amongst the hedges, to the apse, the Notre Dame, the domed, not doomed, protected nucleus. The Two of Cups with the Queen of Cups, perhaps Cancer in blissful release, decoding the maze of amazing grace, perhaps coming together with Sun, or the Emperor's courtship or stable home. The Hanging Man hanging out at night, or under the night sky thinking about how to propose as the Knight of Cups, with Pisces, Cancer, or Pisces, Capricorn, and Cancer here, as Scorpio offers passion or sudden new passion, growth, or creativity from the Sovereign, 9 of Pentacles, and the High Priestess reversed, or secret passion, or independent or single Scorpio with Pisces in their chart, or making arrogance to come, or not arrogance, maybe they are too arrogant, or making arrangements to come together and connect. All water and Capricorn here, with Saggy, with Leo reversed, Aquarius upright, Libra upright, and Taurus reversed in the underlying energies. And lots of fire, with the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, 9 of Wands, and Page of Wands all in the underlying energy. Mixing fire with water could get real steamy there at 3:13, which is 3:13. The 3 of the Empress, the 13 of the Death card, or transition, which 13 is also the capital letter B, and there's a plane overhead right there. So then the 27, 28, and 28 came up together, so 2 28s came up right in a row. The Ace of Wands, the 2 of Wands, another 2 of Wands, or 2 twin flames, as flames change hands, perhaps a drop in the bucket, or the Emperor's donation, one who wears a wedding ring, or just a ring on their right hand, with 2 choices of path, or 2 different men here, inspired by unexpected income or incoming, penny or queen dropped or changed hands, with Power Man from Mars and Loving Man with a rose, each with a choice to make, or one man who's thinking hard, with one last rose to offer. We have the King of Wands reversed, and the King of Pentacles reversed, and the 6 of Cups reversed, which can represent a falling out between these 2 kings, Or this is two sides of themselves at 319, the Empress and the Sun. Or adversaries, or childhood friends or siblings that had a falling out, or just don't see things the same way, or both were wrong or ungrounded at the time, or without grounds. Having had time to think and dream and assess what they have and what they value, and needing to heal and dream without being arrogant about it. Standing up to face those opposed, or those who lied, cheated, and stole from the Queen of Pentacles reversed on their behalf, or standing firm about not receiving stolen goods, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed trash, her trash, right? Not wanting other people's trash, or finding out who dumped their trash in yours, unafraid to stand up to them, or standing up to the Queen of Pentacles reversed as to why they took their stuff, or stole their stuff back, and facing fears that children will retaliate or not like them anymore if they do that, or delicate egos at play, with Aquarius and Leo both reversed and Taurus upright here. Perhaps the King of Wands is reversed, split up the King of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or the two of them are siblings and the King of Wands reversed, perhaps married to one and came between the siblings, or two men vying for the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or another and she got in the way using kids or pets as excuses. As the Six of Wands journeyman brings good news to the Hierophant or religious leader, or to a commitment or a community leader or establishment or Taurus, or the good news is that the government, community, work, or spouse or church is cutting a check or bonus for the Eight of Pentacles hard work without a complaint, or offering a new life or support to work or space, tools, etc., but can't tell anybody if they give this to you, or have to cross their heart and make a wish, as I'm losing my voice a little bit there, not being allowed to speak your truth, or being blindfolded for a surprise, or time by the water to get over a loss or regret, to sleep, rest, or meditate and find peace by themselves, or peace with just one or two around but not the rest, or shipping them off on a cruise or trip to get some quiet time and much needed rest, peace of mind, and silence. Thank God. Perhaps the King of Wands reversed must choose between war with mate or persecution of daughter, or must choose one over the other, or past life wounding of family sending him off to war to keep him away from his love, who they didn't agree with. The matriarch and patriarch with control of the purse strings, the war strings, would have the final say. To kill or be killed, to be shunned or rejected, or be rejected or shunned, exiled or sent to war, returning in a casket without even have said a goodbye to her, the one who he loved, and unable to stand up for her or her honor. He exiled or killed in the war, as she was hung or burned at the stake. His stake filleted for all time in the great divide. What God has brought together, let no man put asunder. FYI, a piece of paper is not God, and all intentions change as we grow. So the next message is, and this one starts with the Fortune Oracle, and then the Lover's Oracle, the Rider-Waite half deck there, and then I use the full mini deck as well of Rider-Waite. And this is this message. So I pulled these 650 to 52 on the 26th, and 650 is the Lovers and the Ten of Cups, and then the King and Queen of Swords. And then I pulled the mini deck later as clarifiers at 743, which is the Chariot, and 43 also reduces to 7, and 43 is the Three of Cups. The numbers 222 came up as the cards at the end. 222 and 229. Guidance for fools present, and you can look them up in Gematria if you'd like to. Rune 222 is also always coming up as the guidance counselor show. And twos have to do with, the 211 has to do with emergent community service or required community services, but it's also about the 2-2 of the Fool with an open heart taking a leap of faith, and then the 222, which is 6 in love, family and community. and guidance for fools present. You can look up 229 as well if you'd like. The underlying energy here at 733, the Chariot and the Christ vibration, is the 28 of the Snake. And again, Hydra was coming up. The intuition in the world. Using intuition and healing powers will lead you to a better path. Just be careful. You already know the answers that you seek. Coming full circle and natural, complete and whole, with the 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment and happiness with the family, the group. So at 748, the Chariot and the 8 of Cups of walking away and within, and the underlying energy of the Phoenix rising. I was just getting Aurora. The 25 of the Knight of Wands and the 32 of transformation, of breaking chains, and the 1 of the divine masculine abundance, of magical lucky times, and the 20 of marriage and unconditional love in the wake-up call, and the 19 of luck, the 2 of the angel and guidance, the 33 of the unicorn, to just believe, that's all you need to do. Everything else is a given. The 28 of the snake, shedding its own skin. Just be careful with players on the journey to manifest in a wake-up call to the sun and the high priestess or higher self, the divine feminine, to vacation and unity if you just believe in the 2 of wands, the twin flames. The first card here is the proposal, the 27 of the flame, and the 9 of the eagle that's landed. The flame, the hermit, and eagle rising, roaring to the romantic moon. And then 21 of another world, of Virgo and Pisces. And again, there's that energy of the lion roaring and longing for their home. And there's Lyran energy coming up right there. Of 2 cards of the 23 and the 7, the King of Wands and the Chariot. The wise hoot with lots of joy and good fortune await. And 757 of the Chariot and the 3 of Swords, where the underlying energy is someone's awakening. Retreat in time alone or in nature to recharge. You and this person don't share the same vision. Intuition, you already know the answer you seek. With number 1 of fate, regret, and protection. A destined partnership that someone feels badly for the way they treated you. That you are safe and divinely protected. At 8 o'clock on the dot with the 2 zeros of source energy backing up the 8. Of 2 cards of forgiveness and past life love. Your soul remembers this intense connection. And 801, where the underlying energy is the King of Swords, the High Priestess, satisfied, and the King of Pentacles, stressed. The Page of Pentacles, freed by the Queen of Wands and Knight of Cups, offering love to the Empress while the wounded warrior is pissed. And the Queen of Cups, soulmate, with Magician, King of Cups, and Justice with the Knight of Wands, lover or twin, and Sovereign Capricorn, or temptation of the divine feminine, neighbor, or of Pisces, where someone is naked already. The 2 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles, receive the Knight of Swords with an urgent message or delivery. With the Page of Wands and Page of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Emperor, and this could be the Emperor hanging out with a bunch of kids or messages or pets. The Chariot and the King of Wands, the Dark Knight and the Hermit, the Queen of Swords presents, or is present, with Aries, Cancer, Scorpio, and Virgo here. And this could be too, I was just getting that energy of a man with dog food in their pocket, like keeping the dogs or pets busy with these pages coming up. And that could be keeping the kids busy too, like bringing them little treats or candies. At 846, the dance of the children, the 6 of Cups, innocence, and the underlying energy of peace away from too many choices, uncomfortable feelings with the Page of Cups upright and the Page of Wands reversed. And the Hermit reversed, coming together to hang and work hard, or clearing up or cleaning up with the Queen of Cups, who's uncommitted and disconnected in bliss. And this is the Hermit, not the Queen of Cups is upright, the Hermit's reversed. So cleaning up the Queen of Cups, uncommitted and disconnected in bliss, anxious about injustice, or disappointed children in the sun. Withholding pay at work, or arrogant about an inequity, with the King of Swords upright receiving love from the Fool, with the truth of not sleeping or stressed out, and the 4 of Wands home or driving impatiently, or with fallen angel lovers, emotionally fulfilled, family, and happy together. At 8:59 of the dance of the 11th hour, which is also the war within, right? That anxiety that comes up at the 11th hour just before. The one right there is, the first card is bored and insecure. or manipulative. The King of Wands upright and the Knight of Swords upright, giving them a what for, as the Queen of Wands reversed, maybe withholding money. With the World upright and complete, ending conflict to share some love with the Knight of Wands reversed, player, or perhaps someone who's paralyzed after work. The Empress is upright, watching over, and the Knight of Wands reversed is falling short. The Empress is implementing a plan to dream or hang out and get up early and swallow their pride, as the Page of Pentacles is leaving or defenseless to a sudden offer of passion from the Nine of Pentacles sovereign or single person, or a secret passion with the wounded warrior on guard. And no options with the Queen of Swords reversed, who may be mouthing off and performing the daily grind, getting over it with good news. Victory stolen from the Emperor in a heated exchange with issues at work and the Knight of Pentacles, and this was all at 9/18. Again, my birthday, referencing the Divine Feminine's birthday. The Knight of Pentacles is here offering help to the Queen of Swords reversed, or and that could be her rejecting this offer of help, and that could be an offer of work as well. Or the Knight of Pentacles just being devoted to the Queen of Swords reversed, who could be someone who's grieving deeply. The King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles may be weak and or tempted to cut out the Knight of Cups reversed, feeling rejected and jealous, and that could be someone who schmoozes as well. Looking back at their exile, Dark Night of the Soul, or the King of Cups reversed who's sleeping with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunctional family, business, or community. So again, getting in bed with a dysfunctional family or organization or community. At 9:30, the Hermit and the home or union, destined to keep to self and find peace of mind, or just stay quiet. And then I was getting this big energy because I have a slab of cement in my backyard that has been there for 30 years and I need to get rid of it. I just never got around to it or wanted to spend the money on that when money could also always go other places. So I had someone come out to look at that, and the first person that came out wasn't able to do it with the equipment they had. They got a little bit around the edge off, but then they referred me to somebody else. And then he came out, and there was this reference of when I was going to sleep that night, I was getting this energy of, I forget what the reference is. It's like, the Wrestling Federation or something like that, but it's referencing back to the gods and Mount Olympus, but who puts their fist down and like cracks everything apart. It's like the parting of the Red Sea, but it's the smashing of the rock. So I was literally seeing my fist come down and smash this slab of cement where it cracks in all directions. But it was like Moses putting his fist down to split the sea. And then I'd listened to something from Cryon talking about, it's not that you're not higher vibration, but to not talk about it as high vibe, as in something greater than the other, but the wisdom that then raises the vibration. So wisdom was coming up as very significant, and Sophia means wisdom. The demolishing of the stone and the electric grid was coming up, right? The old way of doing things. Which day will it be? Perhaps a profound marker. As I looked back at my notes, and it took me back to 4/7, which is Good Friday, the 4 to 7 of Heart to Crown, and April to July, in the lambda leap of the key gamma boomerang, right? The boom of that fist bump or fist pound on the rock. And then E rang, where E is the feminine or the one equal and congruent to the sound. The meet with momentum, which is thunder, and again the Michael and Metatron energy of electric and magnetic. And Michael is amplifying the victory of liberal generosity, kindness, and bounty as the lightning strikes. And Metatron is the Metatron and the metaphor coming up. The meta 4 is coming up as me tap the whore, which is referencing, again, Mary Magdalene. Or met a lambda leap, or met a supporter or belief system. The page of Metatron, which is the throne, the point, the throne, the high road of one, the surprise, and the momentum. So the moment and the of not sure what's next, right? That's that moment before. The energy of the Tron in Metatron, the throne, the noise, the point, the snout, the tunnel, blunt trunk, the thunder. Again, I always reference Metatron as thunder. Through the guy, bro, belief and faith, allegiance, frame or framework to lay down the framework to put the tree trunks on so that you can cut them. The sword, the crane, round to hide, complete and fully, to open, as in your eyes, as wide as possible, or in other words, the energy of astonishment or momentum. And again, Esther always talks about momentum, right? You have to take the step, like getting your car started and jumping it. You have to push the car to get it going. So then we have this next one, which starts with the shaman dreams. Bye, sweetie. Have a great night. We have the shaman dreams at the top, and then we have the past life deck again. Then the tea leaves and my mixed Lenormand Kipper deck, and then the half deck of Rider-Waite at the bottom. So you can see a little bit closer up. Doesn't want to focus. Are you having trouble focusing with your eyes? There might be a message about that here. It's really having trouble focusing. Usually I can get it focused. Okay. Well, anyway, there's your cards. So just recapping, and by the way, this page starts at 9/11 again, so it's the third time 9/11 came up. So Metatron being thunder equals the sound of meeting with momentum. When Michael strikes his fist with only a moment's thought, a fist bump. And this came up, the movie Mustang, I watched with my daughter the other night. And in the movie, they go to a counseling session and they ask the prisoners, how long did it take you from the thought of doing what you did to get in prison to the actual event? And again, for most of them, it was just a moment or a couple seconds. So again, there's this energy here of the sound meeting with momentum. When Michael strikes his fist with only a moment's thought, a fist bump, it takes from 4 to 7 to come back around, or a 3-month window was coming up. From fist pound or on cement to resound, and again, there's that energy of the horizontal pillar, heard around the world, right? Michael's strike and Metatron's resonance. With the eclipse that just happened and the boomerang, and remember Boo comes up as the nickname of boots, getting the boot or getting a kick start. The eclipse, the boomerang, the boot. And EB came up with the eclipse and the boomerang, which EB is Denmark, the Denmark Islands and eastbound. And EB is also easiness, of simplicity, of ebb, and the dog before country, which I love that. And dog, of course, backwards is God. So Denmark also came up because the mark is the English or British pound. And the geese came by there at 11:21 of den and mark, or the mark of the den, which references the web as well. So boomerang is also, remember, boom, e-rang, right? So the strike, and then she rings, right? The resonance of Metatron as Michael strikes, the masculine energy. And the eclipse, as that came up, I was getting that, besides what I just said about the lobster claw and hands coming together, the same thing was coming together about a clip. They were showing me like the vision of the clip on the dog fence that I have. And I started this one at 10:38 to 46, where that's the 38, 39, and 40 are the Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, and Page of Cups, and the 44 of the Four of Cups, 45 of the Five of Cups, and 46 of the Six of Cups. So lots of loving energy there, but also some reservations perhaps, or boredom, or learning how to take that quiet time alone to learn how to receive love. And perhaps use it for meditation or going within. The cards at the end came up as 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, but the infinity was coming up between as the tea leaf decks that had no cards at the end. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 15, 1, 1, 5, and then 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 5 also coming up. Open and closed connections of U and A, right? The U is an open connection and A is the human with connections, but closed. But U and A was coming up as equaling 0, or AU, which is gold, equals 0, and that 0 point field, or God, the Ancient One. The Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine co-create to infinitum, infinite ums, again, the moment before, where and am equal om, the AUM and the OM. The Devil and their Advocate coming up here as 11.3 and 11.5, the Empress and the Hierophant, which is that Taurus energy of gold. And the Devil and Women of Power were coming up here, and Community Leader here. Hillary Clinton was coming up. And the Hill was coming up in one of my messages too, referring to the government. And then now Hillary's coming up, and she never comes up for me. So she came up, she's Scorpio, 10/26/47, and her life lesson number is 57, which is the Three of Swords. And again, the energy of the two Taurus energies of the Empress and the Hierophant is very heavily grounded. Gold comes up as G in the old, so again, the Ancient One. The O of the human, the LD is binary logarithm, which logarithm is the word and the rhythm to the base 2, right? So the song or the poetry of the 2, of God and human, song and poetry to the base 2, and dog reversed is God, but also human reversed is Nama, like there's that energy. And NAM means to take or accept besides name, and Namu, or NAMU, equals mosquito, but also sweet our candy, which we were talking about having that in your pocket for the kids, which also draw mosquitoes. NAM is also 6, the moon, name, title, and yum, because, for, near, us, house, home, and we. The name, the home and family, the lovers, and And then my name came up because Eve came up. And Eve, Lynn is defined in Wikipedia as waterfall and lightning, the flash of lightning. So the eve of the waterfall and the lightning strike. The eve of lightning, of the storm and rain. The electric is the vertical where Michael strikes as the geese came by at 11:21 of justice and the world. Michael strikes and is seen where the magnetic horizontal Metatron resounds and is invisible, unseen. We see the strike, but it takes 3 to come back around to the invisible effect, the resonance. So again, 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 months, depending on the manifestation. The lion's roar, the dog's howl, the human side of longing in longitudinal strike, the clip, the boot, the boo, scaring you, to get the momentum going. It takes 3, baby. It takes 3. And so instead of it takes 2, it's coming up as it takes 3 to resonate. As when I looked up the movie It Takes Two, the names of the stars came up as Jared, David, and Aurora, and Mickey or Mikey Madison, who's actually a girl. It Takes Two is from Hairspray. Tell me that you're my girl, and I'm your boy, that you're my pride and I'm your joy. In the sand and you're my tide, I'll be the groom if you'll be my bride. It takes 2, baby. It takes 2. So it only takes a moment to strike, to blow, to take 3 breaths or moments, days, months, years, until you know. a second to strike, and 2 to blow, 3 to know. To strike is to picket, to quit, to put up a fence, or say never again, unless. The strike equals the path of a minor infraction. But what happens when you have multiple minor infractions, right? That becomes a felony. The strike is the mighty, the powerful, the dominion, the kingdom, the empire, the realm, and the nation. So remember that 3 strikes, you're out. Because 3 minor infractions is foul play, right? Initially, the misdemeanor is because you missed their intent. But the felony is that you fell on the E, the 0 point, or the Y. The point was lost on you, being one and equal to somebody else. So again, the misdemeanor coming up as an innocent mistake, whereas the felony is that the point was lost on you. You didn't get it. So at 12:01, and Spirit's connecting with me, the 12 of the Hanging Man and the 1 of the Magician, the numbers 113 and 115 came up. The 113 was the, fish, cop, Raphael, Magdalene, the capital E, TH, E to the nth degree, bowing, kids, and the bowing was bringing up the boo and the boots again. Kids, gate, panic, and then 115 came up with Elon, and Elon was coming up regarding some of the other energies as well for me. Elon, Ariel, killing, Leon, Beth, Noel, Molech, leader, Gideon, and again Gideon's Bible comes up of course with that, and Gideon is the judge of Israel, the smasher. The gavel, the fist, so again Gideon again bringing up that breaking of the stone with judgment, or that kick in the ass. And also the energy of the ram had come up, because last week we were out in the yard before we went, Teddy had another play date with Annika, the dog, in our backyard. And before we went over, we were both out in the backyard, and Teddy was just playing, running around, but he got so excited because Annika was out back too. And he rammed into my left calf like a battering ram. And you know how like initially it hurts really bad and then it stops, you know, you can at least sit down. Well, it didn't. It felt like somebody put something in my calf and then just left it there. And I was limping a little bit for a day or two. But that energy of ramming and lighting a fire under your butt. And it was right after he rammed me that he got to go over and have a play date with Annika. And he, you know, he'd been promised that for a while now, and that was only the second time he got to go over to their house. So I remembered too that the first drilling of the cement was the day after Good Friday, and Good Friday was 4-7, the heart to the crown, to get to the 8-9, which is again that high heart and fourth eye energy together, and the 6-9-8 pod. With the 7, the crown being key, right? You have to open the crown to enlightenment in order to open the pod. So the July, August, September energies were coming up again here of 7, 8, 9. The Jews lie and the gold of August, and then the September, which is the scepter, the 7. And JAS for July, August, September. And again, the energy of the scepter being 7, and Rome wasn't built in a day. With JAS meaning the judge, and here's the judge coming up again from a different word, because Gideon was coming up as the judge, and now JAS is coming up as the judge, as the coat, the suit jacket, the sheepfold, or the flock. To lie, to be buried, lodging, or jack, knave, or trump card, brightness. Caesar's scepter, which C can be seizing something. C or seize, right and R. The 7, which is the gamma ray, the boomerang, the seizing of the day, the seizing of the 7th day of rest, the boomerang effect, of boredom, grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, the day of the sun or Sunday, where Saturday is Saturn and Capricorn responsibilities, where Saturn is with rings, Sun is with rays, and all that jazz, as JAS comes up again, the J's. with Jupiter with luck on their side, the kings with J's, and Jesus, which is Jesus, hey Zeus, I Zeus, hey Zeus, can you, and I'm getting hey Jude, so then Judas is coming up. Jesus and Jesus, hey, can you tone down that Z to S instead? So go from Zeus to AS, jazz. The SUS means sister, up, disbelief, or shoe. Whisper, whistling, singing, rush, whiz, Jesus, savior, and breast. Ground, squirrel, and squirrel is also used as a mode of money or exchange. Pig and on top of, otherwise sun and underneath, thus leap, jump, and caper, and that always reminds me of the Muppets. The long, quick jump, attaboy, one's murmur or breeze through a crowd, and then I was getting closer from that, the breeze through a crowd. The father Capricorn calls, the son Leo projects, Saggy and Jesus as I Zeus with lightning bolt, and the archer's arrow, obviously with issues of controlling oneself. Michael toning it down from I Zeus to Jesus, I the long jumper, the whisper, the whistler, singing a happy tune, when not in disbelief, a savior, on top of or underneath, there's no two ways about it, so finding a middle ground and resounding with Metatron instead, where Michael is the mic and Hael, Hael, which is also coming up as et al., met at Ron, so perhaps met at a rehab meeting of heroin, rum, or rainwash on the street, which references codependence. Circle, ring, or sharp, meaning being on time, right? The rune, the leaf, the roe deer, and the 12-step program. To find a compromise between striking up and downward. So Capricorn calls and Leo projects, and Saggy lays off the Z's and connects. The 26 of the Page of Wands in the Lion's Heart. To move with S, Sophia, wisdom, the sine wave and balance, finding a nice rhythm without being blue. Perhaps indigo is a better hue, with violet light into the white night, walking into that good night with a K. So Aries strikes, Taurus resists, and Cancer water works, of course. Leo projects, Virgo refrains, Libra sustains, and Scorpio strikes twice, as Aries is the first. A second time, as Saggy points, Capricorn calls, Aquarius who laughs, and Pisces who breaks down walls and steps on over to the other side. So Sirius judge with flock of seagulls, Jack be nimble, since knave and naive of snow, fist, or to catch in hand, so there's fist coming up again, ice cream and you scream, we all scream, to add white to something, to quickly purify, to clear the air. One who Gideons, July, August, September, JAS, judges whether gavel or fist, or lie, or sword, or Brighton smashes, lodges, or uses their trump card, TP and rum card, the R and the and the TP with momentum. So at 12:58, the 2 of the beloved, spirituality and religion, the eagle and the key, and the 17 of the gift, the hawk, and the queen and the king of swords, 23. As the high priestess, divine feminine, with radical acceptance of candle or candle or bulb, and again the Christmas size bulb, and an open book or open hand test. A heart on fire with openness to learn, as the eagle soars right over obstacles or mountains, with the key to successful outcome to your problem. A dream gift, healing tied up in a bow, the key to clearing the air with the King of Wands, for the eagle to land so that the hawk can take off. At 1:14, the leap to the 14 of the angels and higher love is the 59 of that 11th hour, and the inner war of the wailing tree. The 5 of the Hierophant and closing doors, and I'm getting closer again, so watch that movie. 36 is Atlas and lost in space, needing directions. The 57 of after the screws were tightened and the pressure was on, set in stone, or is that coal, the unmarked trail of revelation, the labyrinth of contemplation, of time alone with self in nature to reconnect with yourself and source? The 10 of the deep dive into the destined task to let go of the pressure, because it's all a mind game. Diving deep to find the beloved with radical acceptance of the number 2 and higher self. Of 10-2, which means in CB language, receiving well. At the 11th hour, struggling within to close, again closer, a door to open the world and beyond, with intent being your guide, a map to heal and dive right in, and rise to the occasion, diving deep with hearts on fire and receiving well. The first card here is the 35 of the wounded warrior, and the lost compass of 11-11 and getting back to their integrity. The 26 of the Page of Wands, and the year 26, gathering around the power of community, the wounded warrior and the lion's heart, with the dust devil kicking it up to move out of being stuck or stagnation, or moving out of being stuck regarding the job. The devil and their advocate as two who have deceived them or deemed themselves unworthy. At 125 of the masculine and the magician, and the leap to the 25 of the Knight of Wands, and again that kickstart of lighting a fire under your butt. The one card of the 44, which is Hercules, but setting a stage for the perfect storm. Hercules or her harvest, the fourth finger, 44, to the fourth chakra, to raise to the 8th and 9th, at that crowning moment, which is number 7, the key, to graduate to the 6-9-8 pod, right? 6 and 9 together become the 8 pod. You must open yourself to 1,000 suns to do that, the key of enlightenment. The raven, the peacock, and the eagle's sight. The ravenous looker on the hill. Ravenously spiritual, beautiful within and without, with advantageous location and bird's eye view, and 3 octaves. 8 avenues, and the 38 path. And remember, we talked about in the beginning of the video that 3-8, the Queen of Cups, is also 3/8 of 2 dancers with a third to get them to surrender and lay down to infinitely play with romance. The roaming ants. The ant is the OU or gold, and the NTS is she or her gold or gold-E. Goldie and Hawn, which is here, chaff, awe, and murned, what goes around comes around. The ancient she who's here, of the wheat and the chaff, the we at and the cha or cha-cha, and the FF, which is fast forward, or the rod and staff, a road without an E or an A, what goes around comes around, as the staff, the STA of the star stationing fast forward, stubborn farmer to be upright and present to stay, and fortissimo or loud music, and turn to the next page. For what is the lead without what follows, the echo without its reflection, the boomerang without a callback? At 146, the leap to the 6 of Cups, innocence of the inner children. The 146 of the underlying energy of the orphan and perhaps Annie, with new ships coming in, and perhaps the good ship Lollipop, with bright white and shiny, just in time for lessons or less-ons, and blessings or blessings, less-ons and bless wobbles, and water meadows and houses, communal living where angels dwell, the restoration of the cave dwellers, which are bats and men and Mary Magdalene, in a prison time warp of the ship, the pure ship with lots of rods and staff, and stopwatches and watch towers where angels fear to thread. So out of time and out of space, as angels wait for your call, to release your chains to what was, and open to a random page instead, or Random House. Look at the binding and your hands, your joints and articulations, the joy in she of joints, which is joy in she, and articulation, which is the art of the inner child, and you with the lat, which is the long staff or monumental pillar, connections. So why hold yourself to one hard and fast rule when you change and you change and you change and you change, upgrading with each wobble to and fro? At 157, so there's that energy again of the vertical change and then the horizontal wobble to and fro. The 157 of the Three of Swords and the Atlantis residual darkened by CERN. The pillars at the bottom of the sea no longer seen doesn't mean they're not there. Authority figures with gavels that sparkle look to them and put their fist or foot down, so to speak. Look to the ones with the sparkly gavels who put their fist or foot down, so to speak, to break the pattern, to break the stone, to break the ice of galactic proportion. The galactic is the gal act of the inner child, to infinitum. In phi, show of power, is the tum, the empty, the tummy, the crash, course, in the rule of thumb. To plunge, dip, immerse, duck, or steep, to dive deep as 1 to 100. The infinite which is open-ended. So I took a break and a walk with Teddy there, and I came back to the medicine man or woman and the love life, the dream catchers and the feathers dangled like carrots, with roses and hearts out on a limb, and the monk or nun and trees, or monkeys, of course, or none at all. The fingertips aligned with the sun's phased array. As I'm losing my voice there, I got a tickle in my throat. Filtering through the trees or the tea leaves. And I'm getting this energy when I was in the south of France with Mercedes Kirkle on that retreat. She channels Mary Magdalene. We'd pick a card from the Mary Magdalene deck every day, and I got the crucifixion. But the picture was beautiful. It was the sun filtering through the trees. And then I later, when we were meditating at the bottom of the Cathars Castle, literally saw, and literally the sun was filtering through the trees as we were meditating in a circle. And that's when I got my message from Jesus saying, look to the sun and to the butterflies. And why do you have your eyes closed when there's all of this to see? And it was referencing him on the cross. So here's that energy again coming up. The fingertips, and sometimes I'll show you those pictures I get on my Instagram where the sun literally is showing the connection of my fingertip. It's actually sparking. The fingertips aligned with the sun's phased array, filtering through the tea leaves to send you a message. To make sure to return to sender or say thank you for the messages. Perhaps a child or grandchild is alerting you of their arrival, filtering top down through the young ones as the bottom branches reflect the knuckles of the older ones. The initial wounds, the split, the continuous splitting and splitting and splitting up. The limbs going their separate ways, but eventually the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, back to the roots where they started from, before human. Capture your dreams in the love and the light, with map of intent and the wisdom of compassion and gratitude, before and after meals of bread and water, as quote-unquote breaking bread and emptying cup, and giving thanks in order to fill up again. At 240, the divine feminine or higher self, and the 40 of the innocent one, the page of cups, of love and light, which is the best nourishment that you can receive. At 242, the two of cups, of vows and transportation that bridge you to spouse. The energy of hoods and suspension bridge domes and umbrellas for wherever you shall roam. Your spouse is SPO and USE, a stalking protection order in use for your reeling in use. Of S, which is Sophia, PO, right, post office box, use. Vowing to transport the spouse because you send me at 248 where the train horn sounded of going within to your higher self. And you can stand under my umbrella. So Rihanna and Jay-Z were coming up. And remember Asia Minor and the biblical carpenter. As I am not. And as I hammer, I only create and do not harm. taking to the bench and fourth leg, not the gavel to be pegged. Biblical inner child and all, destiny's child. I've seen the buttercup yellow draped over your heart, tinged with gray. It's making me cry. It's the Divine Masculine speaking to you guys. I've seen the buttercup yellow draped over your heart, tinged with gray over the roles you had to play, with stiff upper lip and no voice and no choice, but to button up and yet be on call to enter. My nun and my geisha, whether pure or horizon, her eyes on, I am your humble servant, busy working on my whispering bench, to have and to hold that will hold up a good long time in the destiny of the time warp at 3:01, which is the moment after 3 o'clock. That's very significant. And of course, the time warp is Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror, you know, getting smashed in the picture show. And then I was getting, Father, 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 I hold your pointer finger and remember you every time I see a horse. Down on the farm, the whore that sees my empty silo, grazing on mother's grass, and knowing this time you won't leave me, for I pack you with me in my shadow pack, the suitcase on track to ride the grail, God's rail to infinitum and back, never nearing the end, an unending fire in my belly. I pray on Friday to beautiful good son, whose bread was broke, was a perfect execution, receiving all tens on high, in a safe haven in her arms, a ticking time bomb we call love and home, a promise he made and plans to fulfill, with father's help, pointer and horse. Point to point, steeplechase, the Irish pointer and golden child, down on the farm, the maiden races for young horses, which are 4 to 7, can be run over 2.5 miles. The train to Englewood, or Angle, which is fire and light, with father, equals an open fireplace, a male lover with groin, to coax their way in, or beg and ask for alms. An Angle messenger, fallen servant of God, challenged to work with wood upon father's deliverance, after retrieving their suitcase from the train well, which actually is something that happened to me when I was a little girl. My dad took me to see my grandmother. I dropped my suitcase in the train well. I was 8 years old. So at 3:28, the Empress and the twins, the underlying energy of the mother and their children, the 14, or 34 rather, of the energetic exchange in hours of love, and the 12 first of the wise group of birds reaping and sowing, an energetic exchange of their occupation or occupation with the energetic exchange or hours of love, with the 16 of the man with sudden thoughts of her and his brush strokes, the train, F.W. Baker, on high vibe or wise destined journey at 3:32, where the helicopter came really close, and there's closer was coming up again, and the King of Wands breakthrough with lover giving a ring, as the 25 Knight of Wands with the Ace of Wands new passion or flame, or going to the polar bear mother for a ring to gift, or calling mother to unburden them with Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, Gemini, Capricorn, and Aquarius, or a fiery man proposes, and or gifts. So at 3:37 to 38, which is the King and Queen of Cups and the Mother, the first card here is the 24 of the Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups, reflecting swans. All right, did the time just change? Oh no. I'm looking here on the clock, which isn't the actual time. And I'm like, why is it 1 hour different? Because like almost 1 hour to the moment. It's 2:45 on the clock, and it was 2:39 here. And the grieving of the Knight of Cups, as we're talking about the Page of Cups, reflecting swans with the 24 Queen of Wands and the 33 of the Christ vibration, And there's that energy. 24 is the energy of Mary Magdalene in her fieriness. The 33 of the Christ vibration, and the 8 of Pentacles, and the key to freedom from the cage, of standing up for oneself, freeing oneself from their work. The 30 of the King of Swords, the wise, mature, peaceful, spiritual union here of Mary Magdalene and JC, free to be calla lilies. So Cali, right? Sometimes you need to light a fire under your butt, and then the lilies of, again, the enlightenment. The Queen and the 24 of the Omega. The Queen of Wands with a love message from or for the King of Wands and Knight of Wands, which could be the same person. And the King of Swords home with the 14 and a message of concern, or vice versa, where the King of Swords gets there first and now the King of Wands is concerned. All air signs here with Saggy and Leo, Pisces, Scorpio, and Capricorn. A dream gift of Mary Magdalene and JC union, and the patient angel with messages of concern, the message from a patient or angel of a higher love, or someone's leaving or has to eat and run. At 348 is the Empress and the 8 of Cups walking away within, and the underlying energy of a gift from a unicorn. The third eye, or Aquarius, or star, to Mother Bear, or very grounded earth sign, of dragonfly and a beautiful mind, as two as one, and bunny, or scared of the moth to the flame, or the mother catching them, or rabbit died as the moth leaps to the flame. Doctor, mother, and perhaps rabbi too, to graceful gazelle on the Serengeti, as the elephant pounds in one step at a time, who's on the scent, or prince with the glass slipper to see if it fits. And the geese came again there at 354. The Empress and the Page of Swords, which is also a mercurial energy, which could be Gemini or Virgo. With rough terrain at the crossroads, and the throne of Ant and Ula, or Ant with tools, as the wolf is stunned, can't believe what they're seeing, as the fish takes the bait of the spider's web, a big catch. As the mouse sees this too, from hiding of course, and is nervous, as the snake sheds their skin with focus on the lamb, or moose who's naked and on the lamb, and crocodile cut off their nose to spite their face, and is now with no sense of smell or taste, or their instincts are off at 401 as the hawk clears the way to the buffalo and the dragon, or flying to buffalo with higher self, or all heavy hitters here with eyes on clearing, with the cosmic egg crowning in the collective awakening. And Teddy was being really whiny right there. Or well-grounded doctor crowning, solar plexus and crown come together in quantum entanglement, or awaiting arrival, or for what comes next. The bird, whether the eagle or the hawk who's flying in, and the divine masculine or King of Wands with a gift, perhaps key. And one card here at the end, which is the raccoon who's hiding with mask, not even hungry for the trash, worried about them leaving, or what balance will actually feel like, because they've never had it. And then the 412 of the Emperor and the Hanging Man, the underlying energy of the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, who came together as the Knight of Cups to offer love to the High Priestess or Higher Self, Divine Feminine, or sister, nurse or aide, or messages of love from multiple people, to Pisces or Virgo with choice to make, from Sovereign Temptation or Capricorn, or single Capricorn, and the Knight of Cups who's happy with the King of Pentacles coming full circle to connect as the Two of Cups 1-to-1, the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles, or two with the whole package at 417, the Emperor and the Stars, or sisters and the Divine Feminine or Pisces, the world, or the neighborhood between the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles, or Pisces or Earth sign proposed to, or businessman who's swinging around with a deal for the Queen of Pentacles Empress, or mother and daughter, or well-off family here with a lot of love to give, but the Knight of Wands wounded warrior may be on guard without sleep, or on defense, or stressed, or feeling trapped with the Knight of Wands rushing in to leap, or help, or get the job done, as Dark Knight plows right over everyone to get to the Page of Cups or Innocent One for some magic, with the Queen of Cups, or mother and child, or Pisces and Cancer, or Virgo, or Gemini between the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups. or just Scorpio innocent and the Queen of Cups with all tools on board and making plans. As the page is funny too, while we were talking here, my son texted me. He was supposed to come visit. The Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles offer invite or opportunity to the King of Swords, who must first contend with the Emperor who's traveling to the King of Wands or dealing with work and moving before they can reply. So at 4:31, the Emperor and the group, or conflicts, or pursuit of happiness, the Hermit with snow, perhaps buffalo, or seeing some white down there, and advising the King of Wands looking back as the eagle has landed, or looking to see who's picking them up, with the Queen of Swords presenting the King of Cups, or trying to get their full attention, or introducing the King of Cups to Justice, a judge, or Libra, who may be hiding or have someone hiding in the back, or listening in. Hopefully they're not stashed in a trunk. Or does someone have a ventriloquist doll, or masked little bandit they didn't know about, or a stowaway? So at 4:37, I realized I missed the tea leaves. That might be a message for you, missed tea leaves. After 51st dates, harp and pinned, or great happiness in new career, success and shield as rose and romancer in the air, and mountain road, and eagle on the road to success, with wealth at the end here, or at the beginning perhaps, or both. Teardrops and scales, despite great sorrow, you're keeping scales balanced here at 4:40, with the zero energy supporting the 44 of Hercules as well. The underlying energy of the horseshoe and the horse. Good luck in a short journey. I hope the shoe fits. With the yoke and the basket and the bag and the dong. I was going to say the dog, yes, is whining, but the dong is coming up here too, and I'm sure he was thinking about Anaga next door. Frustrated, wanting recognition or reward. Thought it was in the bag, over a barrel, but something is lacking. And that's so funny, because I was trying to think of my barrel messages when I was doing this yesterday. And then afterwards, I was watching something where they were trying to figure out what over in a barrel actually meant. And because there's several different definitions. But then they come back at the end with the definition of where they would punish someone by putting them in a barrel with holes in it, where guys would put their manhood there in there. So I didn't know that one, but that was coming up. But wanting recognition or reward, thought it was in the bag, over a barrel, but something is lacking. No barrel of monkeys here, with wreath or sorrow over a loss, and key to successful outcome to problems. As the bird here is perched, waiting for news or a package, or the grapevine, or to seek the grapevine for information. A broken bridge, as scales are out of balance and hiding something, with angels and demons and having to cut ties, or hiding a tainted reputation or political ties with one. With lots of earth and fire here, or in the end, Virgo, Queen of Swords, and King of Cups, Libra here at 4:48, which is referencing the 4/4/8 of Hercules, or her harvest, or the Emperor and going within. The Fool, Queen of Wands, or Aries, may be looking at the Six of Cups and charging in as the Knight of Swords with something to say. Or the Queen of Wands is freed as her soulmate or kids defend her honor. Perhaps Libra or air sign is very much an intellectual, or the charges are dropped at 4:50, which is the Emperor and the Ten of Cups family. So the next message, which is this last message on the table that I did this morning, the 28th. So today's the 28th, which is the Two of Wands, or the Twin Flames, and the day adds up to the 39, which is the Knight of Cups. So this one was, I just was going to throw out, like, one energy card for you guys, and of course I can never just do that, but I was just going to bring out some energy for you before I pulled cards for you, and this is what it ended up being. But you can see, here's that angel wings pointing at Atlas 36 and Hercules 44 over here, the woman with the heart, and the man with the spaceship over here, or distant horizons. And then the world, the star, and the Fool here, and the Fool's journey. And there's a man with a dog standing in this picture. So we have the two pillars here, the angel above, and then the Fool on the ground running below. So I pulled the this deck first, the Fortune's Oracle, and then the Lenormand Kipper combined deck over here, then the energy deck, and then the half deck of Rider-Waite. So here's the messages there. I also pulled, these were a continuation of the Rider-Waite at the end. Okay. So these were pulled 1142 to 45, which is the 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 4 and 5 of Cups. So coming together, finding joy, and then perhaps becoming bored and learning how to receive love instead with the 45, which is purging and then getting over it. Or sadness, you know, feeling a little down. But again, just the balancing act, where the underlying energy is the 2 of the angel, the 36 of the distant horizons, and 44, the woman with a heart, and the chariot, which is number 7. The 2 of the divine feminine higher self, or high priestess, with Atlas and Hercules in the chariot. That you have divine guidance and protection from the spaceship on the distant horizon with map of intents, and the woman holding a heart in a bold move to travel, move, or ascend, or hit the ground running. With Pisces and Cancer energies here, Atlas and Hercules pillars, and the angels above, the Fool below, with an open heart and a skip in their step, and a loyal friend perhaps. The underlying energy after the 16 of the sudden lucky lion eclipse, and the longing lion in the West Side story of ganglion and versus stallion. So ganglion versus stallion is the gang lion versus the stall lion. The gang and the stall are path of all. The 4 of the birth of the 30 and sun, the springboard opportunity with divine guidance and protection. The 2 of the home, or 2 in the sun, or emperor and higher self home in union. With Scorpio, Aries, Leo, and Pisces, the first card next is the 36, 29, and 12, the world, the star, and the fool. Be open to the new as the worst is now over, with Atlas and other star systems and their perspective of us in the present moment, being wise and looking back at them. A man and his dog, and the next frontier at 1204, the hanging man and the emperor, or the land of leap. The underlying energy after the journey of despair, or of the pair, and the wounded warrior suffering in silence as the man from Mars, cutting ties in rough waters, inspired by risk and coming clean with a letter, a document, or creative writing, sealed with a kiss or inheritance, or last words perhaps, exposing all, Leo and case closed, with main male, perhaps Gemini or Virgo, and the Knight of Wands with high honors, or a christening of a new ship taking off for the distant horizons and a map of intent. Sagittarius and our Leo here. And also that could be, again, what's his name with a new ship? And I'm blanking out on his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Why am I blanking out his name? I just said it a little while ago. But anyway. At 1210 is the hanging man and destiny, that high vibration. The 40 of the Page of Cups, the 48 of the Pup with the 10 of Cups family, the 29 of the Power Lady with the Ace of Swords, with Pisces, Cancer, and the Queen of Swords, or vulnerable innocent pup or moonchild with the 10 of Cups, happy family and power woman, with gifts and truth watching out for them, perhaps a mother and number 6, or Gemini and little girl, the moonchild in the house, the school establishment of peace, or the King of Wands, Leo, standing up for themselves about others' messes, or perhaps learning how to clean up his own. Oh, and I forgot to tell you too, this morning when I took Teddy out back, there was a cardinal couple sitting on the fence, on one side of the fence, my neighbors, and then on the other end of the fence was a smaller bird looking on. And then I went to get my camera, and of course the 2 cardinals went away, but the 3rd bird came back and was sitting on the fence. So, and then right after that, I saw a twirler like twirl down and land on my roof, and that was pretty cool. So at 1214, the hanging man and the 14, with Pisces, Cancer, Gemini, Leo, Aries, Virgo, and Libra here, as the Fool takes a leap with or as the Queen of Pentacles, and the 12 of the wise privileged lady, or Pisces hermiting with the number 9, or with Virgo with changes, or cleaned up the place. The 10 of destiny and the Page of Pentacles to be more discerning, or making cuts, or cleaning up the yard, or again, the King of Wands, learning, getting the kids to clean up their own messes, or again, learning to take care of their own messes. At 12:19, the Hanging Man and the Sun, and again referencing Leo, Pisces, but also Jesus as the sun. The underlying energy of the 14 in carrying connections, or a pairing, and the 34 of energetic exchange and arrows of love, and the door to personal healing and happiness. The 11 of cornucopia, of thanksgiving every day, of justice and alignment, and the 7th chakra of graduation. The 41 of the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups, and the Archangel Uriel of graduation day, but lacking liberties, as the 15 of appreciation and 44 of the woman holding a heart, or sisters or couple with grown child, or mother and aunt with 2 daughters, or 3 women of wisdom, gratitude, and love, aligning with the Holy Grail and the shadow of Hercules mountain. The 31 of the door to value, the 48 of the angel of balance, the 40 of the page of cups and Metatron, and the 24 of the Queen of Wands with adjacent possibilities. As the 17 stars are merging together, black and white stallions, or stall lions, take action to heal and dream. A 37 King of Cups with Archangel Chamuel, and the 3rd chakra using confidence to shine unconditional love. At 12:26, the Hanging Man and the Page of Wands, the underlying energy of the King of Wands who looks back with justice, or Libra with invite or opportunity to the Emperor and the King of Cups, or the Page of Pentacles child who's between the King of Wands justice and the Emperor's or King of Cups' power or politics here, as the King of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and King of Cups and Knight of Cups are offering love for satisfying choices that they're being now given, or trading love for passion or things that they are each good at. The Knight of Cups is tempted by the Knight of Wands, Page of Cups, or Capricorn and Pup, as the Knight of Pentacles helps the Page of Swords, or offers work, and the Page of Swords is actually the reply. Or Capricorn and Gemini, King of Pentacles, working on DNA or manifesting the best outcome with the Wounded Warrior and Queen of Cups, unless that is her, and the Wounded Warrior giving them dirty looks, as the Queen of Cups is with the King of Swords making a bold move or taking action or hit the ground running. The Knight of Swords with the truth or harsh delivery, or without sleep and the Hermit advising or holding light for them. The 2 of Cups connection, neighbors, sisters, Divine Feminine, High Priestess, or Empress, or all 3, or Pisces, Virgo, and Taurus, or 2 set free by the Empress taking the dog for a walk, or all 3 walking together. With Virgo, Pisces, Taurus, and Aries here in a leap of faith on the Fool's journey around the world in 23 or 80 days, or just enjoying the gift of spring. With Dark Night, Death, End, or Scorpio to the 9 of Pentacles Sovereign and the Queen of Wands, or don't see it or them coming in a lover's leap or a mother's or older woman's death, or watching from afar, or look there up in the air with the Page of Wands and Queen of Swords, speaking of a loving innocent connection of or with the Queen of Pentacles, or messages to help others get over their nightmares, stress, or Scorpio and Virgo with the Queen of Wands who's sleepless, with fiery Pisces child, and Virgo or Virgo and Queen of Swords, mom or sister. She could be a fiery Queen of Swords, mom or sister as well. Soulmates, children, siblings who come together, perhaps under the mother or Mother Nature's wings, who now are stabilizing them. And that was at 12:43, the Hanging Man and the 3 of Cups have coming together. So that's everything, you guys. And it's 158. It was 51 and 52, which is the King and Queen of Swords and the 10 of Cups of the Happy Family. So just going to pull one final card. I'll pull from Romance Angels. Why not? And what is our takeaway here at the 11th hour, as it's 59? At 3:05, which is that Hierophant and the Empress, the 2 Taurus energies, with space between. All right, from Romance Angels, what is our takeaway here? And that hopped right up and over. It says, unrequited love, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going, but it like literally hopped right out. like it hopped right out. And then this card is in the back. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And the underlying energy here was the differences, the religious factors, the cultural factors, the age factors. Your love life is influenced by those things. This is the underlying energy and is going away along with the unrequited love, okay? So after you stay optimistic about your love life, you have a honeymoon here with the angels, enjoying the bliss of holiday time together. And perhaps healing family issues here. That your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So they may, and that could be your kids forgiving you as well. So again, it's really about like revisiting to hone in on and fine tune those wounds that you already got out, but you kind of have to visit them one more time. But it's really, you know, it's getting closer to the hour, right? The 11th hour is the minute before the hour. It's the 0.99999, but it gets, you can keep going and getting closer and closer and closer, but you'll never get to that hour point, right? Because that's infinitum. So you can go from 99 to 0.9999, which is closer. And that is the energy that this is showing. You're fine-tuning the wound to get it less and less and less, so it's as clean as possible, cleaning up your messes. Okay, and I'll pull from I have my little tea leaves over here too. We'll pull you something here. Anything specific? So just this one, the frying pan. So don't jump out of the fire into the frying pan with trouble and accusations. Right? Don't fight fire with fire is what they're saying. And then these three are coming out together here. The bottom of the deck is the archway. New opportunities, possibilities, and paths that are opening up to you. With the frying pan and then the pig, the beetle, and the peacock. And again, you know, the things that are different, you know, being careful of greedy, and that can be with good fortune as well, and the beetle. But this is good fortune here. And then pride. So just being aware of the good fortune that's held in the midst of greed and pride. Don't jump from the fire back into the frying pan, okay? And then the other side of the tea leaves, we'll see. And there we go. The clouds, temporary problems. So again, these clouds will just roll by. So it's reminding you, because this kept coming up, that they're temporary problems. There was so much positive energy going forward in all the reads I was doing. It was just saying, remember, they're all temporary. And then this bunch came out. The bottom is the caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. Change is coming. And then they reiterated that with the clouds. The clouds are being cleared. And there's the fire, the torch, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness and understanding. And the ring, a marriage will take place, either romantic or business. With the dagger, fear, worries, tense situations, and again, nervousness and anxieties with that someone's working against you behind your back. And don't be paranoid, okay? The hand in need of help, assistance, and guidance. And there's the clasping of the hands coming together. And the needle and thread, the need to sew them together. A sincere wish will be granted. And the bird flying as news is on the way. Okay? So hand holding, needles on pins and needles, and the bird is coming in. Somebody could be coming in to visit as well. But again, the torch, the final baton. And again, the Olympic torch. And the beginning of the games. As the games begin, that came up the other day, didn't it? The games begin with a ring, whether it's a call or an actual ring. As then you feel daggers, the nervousness that comes in, and start getting paranoid about someone working against you behind your back. To put up your hand when you need a break. When you need assistance and guidance, raise your hand. In order to, you know, sew things back together. Because if you take those breaks and ask questions, a sincere wish will actually be granted as the bird is flying in and news is on the way. And again, the underlying energy was the caterpillar that becomes the butterfly. That things will not always be this way, and the clouds are rolling by as the first card out to show you what's actually been hiding behind it all. And that's what's coming out for you now. Wow, that's pretty profound. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature, to follow your own knowing, and just enjoy every moment. Rise and be loved, love and rise. I'll see you guys. It's definitely in their eyes.